What about armors? What does he have? 2. That's an upgrade. 325. 035. Could she use this? What is that? 2535. It says armor absorption? I don't know the difference between armor absorption and armor deflection. She looks cool in hers. $325. Okay. What is his weapons? The Omniscient Axe and a Plasma Gun, which has the single shot and the AoE. That's really interesting at all, but it fails to answer the question of whether or not there's more WAG in this game. You looking for orc? Maybe you deflect and once exhausted the armor absorbs for a while? Maybe, but I do not know. Alright. Let's go to the ship. You can find previous cues from the current dialogue by scrolling up the dialogue window. Let's see, our ship is here. Oh look, it's a tech priest doing like the incense thing. I bless your ship in the name
Follow
of
my
the...
lead!
Whoa, oh my gosh, that was loud. Maybe deflect is for one combat damage, absorb for another. My first instinct is to think that deflect avoids a hit entirely, and absorb like just reduces the damage of a hit. But I'm not sure. Come on. There we go. Alright, so... Scan is... Wait, oh, okay, I guess we're just flying there then. I don't know what this is. Begin scan. Plus 50 XP. Alter EXT17 added to encyclopedia. No resources. Okay. Can I go back to... Wait. Ah! Oh, I can just, like, fly around at random? Oh, I thought I had to, like, click on specific stuff. Can I fly into the sun? Ah! Nope. I wonder if I can find the missing stuff. Oh, well, there's the other two people that I couldn't figure out earlier. Let's do this for a second, just so I can see him. Is this game less dark and gritty like other Warhammer 40k games? It's still dark. But, you know, it's turn-based, you're looking at it from above, so it's like a little less immersive because you're looking down on it. Alright.
Remember, innocence proves nothing.
Innocence proves nothing? What the crap? Telekinetic Dome, Charge, Daring Breach. He's a fighter. And he's leveled up into Veteran, Assassin, or Vanguard.
Trading is just like art. It takes skill and talent.
And she has Shot on the Run. She's got the same skills as the Sister of Battle.
Color the uncolored.
I'm watching your back. Always.
Wait, where is she?
Ready as always.
There she is. Medicaid training can instantly heal their allies out of combat. Oh, I wonder if you click on this on someone who's low health, if it actually heals them properly. Okay. What else can we do? I remember Sister Argenta wanted us to talk to her on the ship. Let's see. Yeah, I'm close to her. There she is. Sister Argenta greets you with the slightest half bow. Lord Captain, I'm glad you came, and I wish to apologize for my prior coldness. After our first meeting, I was concerned that you would turn out to be another rotten offshoot of the von Valencius family tree, like the traitor Kunrad. But now I see before me a worthy leader and servant of the Imperium. I'm glad to be your comrade. Are you ready to tell me more about yourself now? If such is the rogue trader's wish. Although there isn't much I can tell. I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to know? Where do you hail from? Now that I can tell you, I come from everywhere and nowhere. Her eyes darken for a moment. I am the child of officers of the Imperial Guard. I was born in the hold of a battleship, grew up following my parents' deployments from one planet to another, and lost my family in the flames of a righteous war. Argenta absent-mindedly touches the fragment of the golden Aquila hanging from her belt. My memory is like wafts of smoke over a still battlefield, the gray of a ship's plating, the strict cadence of life in military camps, my mother's uniform. I loved looking at it. Then that battle, the rumbling, the shouting, the suit, the screams of soldiers burning alive, and the gold of the regiment's Aquila, untouched by soot or blood, the last unsullied piece of a world that was going mad. That was my last memory of my mother, and of my former life before the Scala Progenium and the Novitiate, before the test, before the vows. What is the Scala? A division of the Ecclesiarchy responsible for the upbringing, education, and training of orphans, of those officers and nobles who have died in the service of the Imperium. The golden shard you carry. My own relic. It's the regiment's Aquila, or rather, the fragment that survived the attack, the explosions, and the fire. For me, it's a reminder that purity and radiance can be preserved even in the heart of the darkness. How did you become one of the Adeptus Sororitas? Become. It's such a strange word for it. It seems right, but is that how one talks about their destiny? If you're asking about the path itself, that's easy enough to answer. First, like many other Imperial orphans, I went through the Scala Progenium. Those years were rough, but I remember them fondly. Few things can compare with the feeling of a past trial, even if it leaves your body aching from exhaustion or your soul wincing in pain. I was one of the best among my peers, and I was selected for the novitiate in the ranks of the Adeptus Sororitas. When the hour came, I passed the trials and took my vows. The most joyous day of my life. The Emperor's light has always been with me, but to accept it with all your heart and to utter the oaths, that is like a rapture like no other. Have you ever wished for a different lot? The question seems to catch Argenta off guard. Have I ever? But that would be a shameful weakness, almost heresy. Of course not. I was born for this. I live by the Emperor's will, and in his light, I myself am the light. I must be the light, for myself and for those who ask for my protection. I was chosen to serve, but beyond that, I won't deny it. Few things elate me as much as the thought that the heretic felled by my shot will never again orphan an Imperial girl. Thank you for your candor. It is my pleasure to be candid. Tell me about the Adeptus Sororitas. Gladly. We serve the Emperor and humanity since time immemorial, and we fight evil by the will of the Holy Ecclesiarchy. Argenta interrupts herself and snorts. I beg your pardon, rogue trader. Here I am talking about what every lesser noble in the Imperium knows. So what exactly are you interested in hearing about? What order are you from? Once I had completed my novitiate, I was sent to the Calixian branch of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, assigned to the Order's Pronatus. The Order's mission is vital and noble. The Sisters Pro Natus protect great relics of the Imperium. We guard them, preserve them, escort them, and when they are brought onto the battlefield or presented for pilgrims to venerate. And we seek out the relics that have been lost. Neither a coven of heretics nor the most wicked death world can deter Sisters Pro Natus when their goal is to return a piece of the great legacy of the Imperium into the hands of the faithful. Lore success. The Order Pro Natus is not one of the Order's militant, and yet you are a trained fighter. Don't let the name deceive you. The Order Militant trains Sisters to march onto a battlefield as an army. That does not make Sisters who belong to non-militant orders timid and helpless. Both the solace-bringing Sisters Hospitaller and the enlightened Sisters Dialogus know how to greet enemies of humanity. Their dialogue with heretics is usually quite short, with the last word being a bolt or discharge. Chat, this reminds me, I was actually watching, there's a YouTube channel, and I think it's called Dr. Mike, and I've seen some of his videos. He's recently taken up boxing. And he did a recent video, and he ended it with talking about how he was going to find a new opponent and prescribe them these hands. So hearing what she said about like the Sisters Hospitaller know how to fight, I'm just imagining them like, I'm about to prescribe you these hands. After a short pause, Argenta adds with somewhat arrogant haste, and my order has all the more reason to be known for the martial prowess of its sisters. We are the keepers of Imperial relics. What would become of our blessed hero's legacy if the Sisters Pro Natus did not protect it? Are there any other members of the Adeptus Sororitas in the Coronis Expanse? None that I'm aware of, but the Sisterhood's orders are many and can operate independently of one another, sending their sisters wherever their presence is needed and deemed by the Ecclesiarchy. Perhaps somewhere in the Lord Inquisitor's retinue, may his path be blessed, my sisters perform their duty as we speak. I wish it were so. Even a single evening spent in joint prayer and training would bring me joy. They say the Adeptus Sororitas are the fiercest in their faith among the warriors of the Imperium. Is it true? It is. The Sisters of Battle are a fire lit by the Emperor. They are the echo of his voice that travel through the dark expanses of the universe. We bring his light to the faithful and his wrath to heretics, villains, and other enemies of humanity. We can heal, inspire, edify, but first and foremost, we protect the faithful from the unholy and the unhallowed. Sometimes with words, more often than not with a bolter. Let me heal you. Are all sisters truly as faultless as you say? Even the novices of the Adeptus Sororitas are drawn from among the most worthy. Those who have taken the vows and become a full-fledged sister are the best of the best, tested by trials of body and spirit. Yes, there have been cases when a sister stumbled or showed weakness, but do not expect to hear a story of depravity or downfall from me. Each such occurrence is a great tragedy for us all. Light cannot bear even the smallest speck of darkness within, and thus those who have trespassed or shown weakness of spirit are given a chance at redemption. They are called Sisters Repentia, and may the enemy tremble before her, for nothing can stop a sister of battle who yearns to be cleansed of sin and weakness. Wearing nothing but robes, no armor, chainsword in hand, those sisters who have once faltered find repentance on the battlefield. They're charging into battle with a chainsaw and a cloth robe. And if they win, they're forgiven? Their lives are seldom long, but a death in the name of purgation is a better fate than to live with a shadow in one's soul. Wow, okay. I have no more questions about the sisterhood. Should any more arise, keeping them to yourself would be imprudent. It is a virtue to take an interest in holiness. Yeah, there's a button for leave. I would like to discuss Salus Prime and the relic that you wish to find. Of course, my mission is all I can think about. Tell me about Saint Argenta, whose relic you're searching for. Gladly. Listen. She begins her tale, her eyes half closed and her voice almost singing. Long ago there was a blessed world. Thousands of stars covered the sky there, so bright that its denizens hardly knew the darkness of night. Thousands of rivers nurtured the soil, thousands of gardens bloomed every spring, and at every moment thousands of prayers were flying into the clear air, thanking and praising the Emperor. But one day, the people learned the meaning of darkness. Like a storm, accursed heretics who had sold themselves to the arch-enemy descended upon the planet. Shells flew from the sky that desolated whole cities and burned the gardens and filled the riverbeds with the blood of the faithful. Smoke and soot swallowed the skies and the 1,000 stars that had once shone over the world. Among the handful of servitors was one orphan who had watched all her family die and the garden she'd grown up in burn to ash. But in her heart, she knew the absolute truth. Just these 3 words: the Emperor protects. And knowing that, she never looked away from the black, terrifying, smoke-covered sky, and there were no more bright stars to be seen except for one. The one star, the bright star, the silver star, shone in the sky. And when the orphan smiled at it, the one star fell right into her hands. All the faithful in every corner of the continent who saw the trail of the falling star recognized it as an omen and went looking for the place where it landed, and they rallied together, and with the light of the one star they found their salvation. The girl from the story, that was Saint Argenta? Yes, that was the beginning of her hagiography. It is known that she lived on a world where heretics staged a terrible insurrection. They wiped out all life on the planet except those who Saint Argenta managed to save with the one star, and with the strength of her faith. After that, she traveled between worlds, gripped by turmoil on her ship marked with a silver star, and brought hope to the faithful. Numerous accounts confirm this. Her coming helped people turn the tide of the war and wipe away corruption before the main Imperial forces even arrived. Millions of people owed their lives to her, but the heretics, having realized their imminent defeat, sent the remnants of their forces after the ship with the silver star. It fell from the skies and crashed on an obscure world. There are no definitive records of how old Argenta was at the time. In some chronicles, she's even called the Child Saint, but the credibility is questionable. Either way, she didn't live long, but she left a bright trail in her wake like a falling star. So what is the one star? Oh, if only I knew. Neither the hagiography nor the legends give a straight answer. Classical iconographers believe that the star turned into a banner woven from silver thread, which when brought onto the battlefield would shed light that blinded only heretics but did no harm to the faithful. Most of them portrayed Saint Argenta as a young woman carrying this banner. Others think that upon falling from the sky, the one star became a holy chainsword. The blessed chainsword, which Argenta later used to strike down monsters and enemies of the Imperium. In some of the earlier engravings, Argenta is depicted wearing power armor with a silver star on her chest. One theological theory suggests that this armor was in fact the relic. Some even think that the one star is actually the ship on which Argenta traveled. Her eyes gleam. I will be so happy to have finally found the answer that the Ecclesiarchy has been pondering for millennia. I hope we find the way to Salus Prime soon. The ruinous powers must be working against us on purpose. They stand in the way of faith. One day we will reach Salus Prime and stand before the gates of Saint Argenta's ship. I know it, I believe. Thanks. Wow. Okay. Where the heck do we go? Or can we even proceed? I don't know if the alpha ends here. Vigdis. A thin, pale woman stands head and shoulders above the rest of the crew. There is a thick bundle of cables coming out of the back of her skull and disappearing under her ceremonial garment, and you see the grate of a quietly humming vox where her mouth should be. The woman sees you and bows her head in a respectful greeting. How may I serve you, Lord Captain? Chance 100%. Here we go. Connect me to the vessel's main channel. I wish to bolster the morale of my crew. Oh, it succeeded, thank God. Imagine I just get on the mic. Do better. The Vox Master nods obediently and presses several switches on the device she's holding. It is done, Lord Captain. You address the crew with a rousing speech and hear your voice roll through the ship, reaching even the normally quiet corners of the vessel. When the broadcast ends, you hear distant shouts of approval. I'm amazing. Why do you look strange? What are the Vox Master's duties? I am the ears and the voice of the Void Ship. I supervise several dozen officers and 3 times that number of support personnel. We receive, send, encrypt, and decode all incoming and outgoing messages through the ship's internal and external channels. We also ensure clean communications and the optimal efficiency of the crew's Voxcasters. If you ever want to know what worries and concerns your crews are harboring, what your subjects are whispering about in local networks after their shifts, and what their leaders are clamoring about over shortwave Vox transmissions, just come see me. I will satisfy your curiosity. Have the Vox spirits brought you anything interesting lately? There is unrest on the lower decks, Lord Captain. The guards are actively looking for rabble-rousers and heretics, but the population is extremely unhappy with the harsh treatment. Many are cursing Abelard, whose signature marks the orders and in whose name the oppression is being committed. You may be interested to know that a group of officers was discussing a grim rumor over lunch. Word has it the apparition of Lord Captain Theodora has been sighted on board lately. Yes, you heard right. They say she is haunting the decks, dragging wayward crew members off into oblivion. I don't know if ghosts are a thing in Warhammer 40k, so I don't know if this is ridiculous or not. Disquiet has spread through the ship as the anomaly has been reported in different sections, sometimes entire kilometers apart. My ship is kilometers long? Oh lord, it's thick. The Vox Master leans close to you. Master Heinrich van Kalox expressed interest in our communication stations and Vox networks a short while ago. The interrogator appears to be very well versed in the matters of sacred technology, and it worries me. A man of his knowledge and in his line of work is capable of discreetly planting his own devices in our systems. We will be vigilant, Lord Captain, but you should try to be careful as well. Why do you look so strange? My appearance comes from my heritage, generation after generation of people who spent their entire lives deep into the depths of the Void Ship. Neither we nor our ancestors have ever left our home, but the same can be said about many denizens of the Imperium's million worlds. We are used to the silence of the cosmos and the voices of the ship. There are thousands of us, but we dwell far from the Lord Captain's upper decks and remain unseen. We are the Voidborn. Where does the word Voidborn come from? Because we are the children born in the void between the stars, be it the womb of a traveling vessel, an orbital satellite, or a forgotten asteroid station. Low gravity voyages throughout the warp and the countless dangers of space travel. Everything others hate and dread is second nature to us. Tell me about the lives of the Voidborn in my crew. To us, the groans, creaks, and murmurs of the ship sound the way babbling brooks and singing birds do to world dwellers. We hear the ship breathe, we know what it is feeling and thinking. We are a part of the ship just like it is a part of us. We perform numerous functions, and there are many officers among our number. Some maintain order and prevent mutiny, others serve as shepherds and support the crew, and some devote themselves to mending the body and spirit of the vessel. Most of the Voidborn are members of large void ship dynasties that bear responsibility for a certain aspect of the ship's life. For 300 years, the main branch of the Ptolemon dynasty has produced the ship's Vox Masters, and most of our subordinates come from the cadet houses of the dynasty. How do you find life on the ship? Life has been quite generous to me, Lord Captain. I am the Vox Master, and only the best in the dynasty can become one. By virtue of my skills and position, no one has ever denied me anything. Our family claims a spacious section for its demesne. I also enjoy long walks through the narrow and dimly lit corridors of the ship, listening to the sounds of her activity, falling asleep and waking up to the chanting of hymns, and admiring the stars beyond, of course. How do others on the ship treat you? We look, speak, and move differently from the inhabitants of the planetary worlds. Our way of life, traditions, and quirks frighten these people, just like the darkness of the cosmos. Many believe us to be the bringers of ill fortune, and alas, it is the Voidborn who get the blame for terrible warp phenomena during long voyages. Vigdis hesitates before continuing. Several years ago, an unfortunate warp jump caused all the food on board to spoil. 15 days later, a hungry and furious crew nearly massacred everyone on the lower decks, blaming us for the misfortune and hoping to restock the larders with our flesh. I would have been killed during the mutiny had Adira Tlass not shown up in the right place at the right time. She came to my rescue, and the scoundrels' fear of her was even greater than their fear of Voidborns. Looks like you're close friends with Adira. Web of tiny wrinkles appear at the corners of Vigdis's eyes, the only hint that the Vox Master is smiling. The Voidborn seldom make friends, especially among the captain's entourage, but you see, many consider Adira to be different. I think Adira's the psyker lady with the cables? I am different too. We have spent plenty of time in each other's company, discussing regicide over a glass of a Amasec. Discussing regicide? Ah, it is so rare to have a friend to discuss the death of leaders with. Except Adira changed after one incident, and we started to drift apart. The death of Lord Captain Theodora made her withdraw even more. I do not know if Adira considers me her friend now, but we used to be very, very close. It is good I can still look after her in my own way. Have you ever left the ship? I did once, and it was dreadful. I felt like the massive blue dome overhead could shatter at any moment and fall, and my bones would be crushed by the gravity. Vigdis twitches her shoulders, trying to ward off the flood of memories. The ship is my home, Lord Captain, and I would not trade it even for the bounty of 100 worlds. Oh man, that reminds me of, I think it's the Expanse books. In those books, there's a whole... Oh, I don't want to say race, but it's like a whole section of the human race that were born on Mars. So they're Martians. You know, Mars is colonized, and because the gravity is lessened on Mars, when they grow, because there's less pressure pushing down on them, they're like a foot taller than normal people. But if they go, like they cannot go down to like Earth on a shuttle, or like their bones will break because they just can't withstand the gravity for long periods of time. Yes, the Belters. That was one of the words for them. Yeah. She reminds me of the Belters. Let us return to business. That will be all for now. She's cool. I like her as a character. Chapter 2. The ship's wounds have healed. It's ready to continue its journey. The problem is we don't know where to go. Oda is like Mukluk doesn't want to leave the ship. Muk doesn't want to leave his room. It's a nice room and all my stuff is here. The issue I'm having right now is I don't know if I'm missing something or if I'm like near the end of what's available in the alpha. Warp travel. What does this button do? What is this? What is this? The Coronis Expanse. Oh my god, is that the size of the game? The Imperium. Chart course. Scan is required. Well, how do I go scan it? Back to bridge. Scan. Oh my god, what is all this? Soda's Tome, Avioris, Omicron, Trinitos, System Speckled, Cradle of Kepri, Palatium Stellos. Warp Route 3 Skulls? Okay, so maybe I'm not high enough level for that. 1 yellow skull, 2 orange skulls. Okay, so this is the easiest one. Okay, so let's... This is an uncharted system. Would you like to visit? Sure. Hi there. Do you know if we're going to be an alternate level system like the mythic one on Pathfinder? I do not know the answer to that. I am sorry. I am fumbling my way through this right now. I only know of the... Like, I've gotten 2 level ups on my characters so far, which seem to be, you know, pretty standard. You know, pick some talents and stuff like that from a list of choices. Okay, Ice World. Scan. 5 plasteel. Imperium cartographers and chroniclers know this place well. Long ago, the planet was a prosperous Imperium outpost capable of eclipsing footfall. There was a Cyclopean home station on its orbit, the final resting place of Cornelius Sato, one of the discoverers of the Coronis Expanse. It gave its name to the entire system. However, about 400 years ago, an unknown cosmic body rammed into the station, causing it to collapse onto the planet. Not only did the catastrophe kill the settlers, it also made the world uninhabitable for centuries. The crater formed by the station's impact can still be observed from orbit. Sato's tome became a sepulcher for the entire planet. This sordid place has neither loot nor company, but knowledge of the nasty tricks that life can pull is a treasure in its own right. You will spend 1 to start extracting plasteel. 1 what? Lost Mobile Extractium. Do you want to shut down? If the extracted resource already deployed the trade network. Trade network? Okay, so wait, this is just like giving me stuff constantly? I mean, it's a trading game, so... Oh. Muck is partly covering that. Oh yeah, it says alpha version behind me. You received a cargo energy battery. Press B to open the cargo screen. Okay. Which also includes the stuff I've looted. Wait a minute, wait. What's that? Mobile extractium. A mobile mine